Yeah. See, it's a lie. All right. I always, as a kid, remember we had to study the world map, and you had to be open to everything, and you got this big continent over there called Greenland. And then you got another little piece of land called Iceland. And if you study it, Greenland isn't green. It's all ice. But Iceland is green. And I'm trying to figure, I couldn't understand why this was. But this answered it for the first time. Greenland used to be green. So you must understand that as we move towards the end of the age, we are in a war for this earth. And that there is a spirit that is driving men through fear to give up their individuality, to give up their sovereignty of their nations, to give up on Jesus and the gospel, and to be forced into a world view that would cause us to come under the dominion of a one-world government, a one-world economic system, a one-world religion. And you need to get this really fixed in your heart and in your mind, because once you know this, you can look at the news and and the Spirit of God that's within you will give you the ability to look behind the scenes and say, that doesn't make any sense. Plus, there's big, big money in this global warming thing. And the children, instead of being taught to love America, to love the Constitution, to love the heroes of our past who sacrificed so that we could have a nation of freedom, their whole focus and concentration is on this Earth Day and the Mother Earth. There's no Mother Earth. That's a bunch of garbage that comes out of the goddess religion. The Mother Earth is the goddess, which you can trace it all the way back to Babylon. And this thing that's spoken of in the book of Revelation about Babylon, Babylon's a place, but Babylon is a system, a religious system that can be traced all the way back. And you've got astrology going into that. You've got the New Age movement. You've got all these weird things that's all funneling in to bring about the end of the age. Now, you just need to be aware of that. And all right, let's say global warming. Let's say that the earth warms up. Well, the earth had to be warm at some time, because in Antarctica and in the Arctic regions, there's especially up in the Arctic, they find woolly mammoths instantly frozen with the food that they were eating still in their mouth. Used to be you could buy a woolly mammoth steak in certain restaurants in New York City. The North Pole was once tropical? Yeah. Antarctica too. There's coal deposits and everything down there. And so, what's the worst thing that can happen if the earth warms up? Well, the polar ice caps are melting. So, Greenland will become Greenland again. And people can go there and plant gardens. And they can live in land that is now not habitable. Well, the ocean levels are going to rise. Okay. Those people that went down there and built all those mansions down at Avalon, they might be in trouble because the ocean is going to rise a little bit. But, so? Frightening. 7 inches per 100 years. So just be wise and don't be driven by this spirit that is trying to instill fear in people and get them to throw away everything that our founding fathers died to give us. John. Well, Al Gore knows this. Let me just throw something else out if I can. How many times does a person have to lie to you before in your heart you make the decision they're a liar? Now, if a person is a liar, what part of what they say to you can you trust? Then, my next question to you is, why, under any circumstance, would you want to put that kind of a person as the head of the nation which is supposed to bless you and defend you? Well, that takes all the fun out of the political process. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but our founding father said, and Theodore Roosevelt said, honesty is the first part of being a good politician. You can't have a person in office that is dishonest because you can't trust anything they say. That's why you could never sit down and make a treaty with the Russians. Because, number one, they didn't believe in God. If a person doesn't believe in God, then what standard is it that they have to measure right and wrong from? And it becomes very pragmatic. Well, my standard of right and wrong is if it makes me feel good and if it blesses me, that's right. And if it works against me somehow detrimentally, then that's wrong. That's called pragmatism. Truth is whatever works. The problem with that is there is a God who has created laws. And this is what I was going to preach on today, and then I got something else whether I preached on first service. But a nation that rejects God basically becomes hell on earth. That's in Psalms. A nation that rejects God is turned into hell. And now you think about that for a minute. I know I haven't sent the kids out yet, and I will. But think about America. A nation that used to be relatively honest. There was always liars and cheats and things that happened. But for the most part, people had been taught right from wrong, and they knew right from wrong. They knew that it was wrong to lie, it's wrong to steal, it's wrong to do certain things. But as we have been able to confuse now about 4 generations of people through our public educational system as to what is right and what is wrong, teaching children that there is no such thing as right and wrong, it's basically whatever your value system you choose to develop, that becomes your truth, that becomes your right. Then what has taken place, it didn't happen overnight, but what has taken place over a period of time is America is becoming hell on earth. People, there's some movies, I probably shouldn't like these movies, but you ever watch the Death Wish series? Death Wish with, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, Charles Bronson, he becomes a vigilante. And goes around wiping out all the evil. You can't become a nation of vigilantes. But at the same time, when justice breaks down, and you can't have justice without truth, if you've got lawyers who are liars, defending clients who are liars, with jurists who are liars, how in the world are you ever going to have justice? You can't have justice without truth. And so we have a nation of liars, a nation of cheat, and the nation that forgets God is turned into hell. And so now we have drive-by shootings, we have gangs, we have drug addictions, we have all these terrible things, and people say, I don't understand. I just don't understand whatever happened to America.